No team in the Premier League has created more expected goals than Manchester United so far this season, although no team has missed more either. But at least we are creating chances, particularly from the wide zones. So far this season, I would say that Manchester United have been in the upper end of the average category for the amount of possession that we have had in the league. But the area of real control that we have had has been in the wide zones, both on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. In these zones here, which are coloured purple, Manchester United have had more than 55% of the touches. The question is why? Now, for me personally, I think one of the main reasons why we have had so much space out wide and so much success out wide is because of the quality that we have in the middle of the pitch. When you look at a midfield four, or a central four I should say, of Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Bryan Mbeumo, Matheus Cunha, the quality there is absolutely ridiculous. Particularly in the case of these three, you know that every single one of them can hurt you at any given moment. They can be having a bad game, but then in just a flick of a switch, they are going to absolutely destroy you. And I do feel as though the opposition have almost been respectful of the Manchester United central players. So what we've seen from opposition teams at times is actually quite a narrow defensive approach, simply because of the quality in the middle. We know that someone like Cunha in particular likes to take a lot of touches on the ball and has real tactical gravity. So when he picks the ball up and he drives with it, it takes more than one player to stop him. So we will often see 1, 2, maybe even 3 players drawn towards him. But of course, the result of this is that there is going to be more space somewhere else. If he is taking up 3 players for the opposition, and Mbeumo might do the same, then there has to be some free space somewhere. And typically for United so far, in the early parts of the season, that has been in the 2 wide zones. In this area over here on the left-hand side, and also in this area on the right-hand side, with our wing-backs really being the players that are able to get into this space. Now, it's all well and good creating these spaces out wide on the left and on the right, but ultimately you have to be able to access that space. It's no use Ahmad having all the time in the world on the right-hand side if we can't actually get the ball over to him. And this is why the 2 Manchester United midfielders have been so important. And I think this is the reason why we see Ruben Amorim persisting with these 2, unless one of them is a little bit daft and gets a suspension. But typically these 2 are United's better, longer passing midfielders. And actually in the league so far this season, no team has played more switches. So that sort of highlights the game plan. What United want to do is draw the opposition over to one side of the pitch, over here, outnumber the opposition over here, so then the opposition all come rushing over to try and close you down. Then what United want to do is work the ball into the middle and then switch. No midfielder in the Premier League this season has completed or attempted as many long passes as Bruno Fernandes. That sort of tells you the style of football that we are going for. We're trying to work the ball into the central areas before then switching it to the far side. This is also why the 2 inside forwards are incredibly important as well. Now, of course, as of yet, we haven't seen these 2 playing a lot of football with each other consistently because Mbeumo is rested in the Carabao Cup, Cunha has had an injury, but we know what we're going to get from these 2. We get excellent ball carrying ability, we get excellent goal scoring ability, but also passing ability. They are both wrong-footed, if you like. So we've got the left-footed Bryan Mbeumo playing on the right, and then we've got the right-footed Matheus Cunha playing on the left. And this, again, actually allows us to switch the play. So if we are overloading the left-hand side and perhaps can't get the ball to Bruno Fernandes, we could instead get it to Cunha, or also Mason Mount when he plays on this side of the pitch. Both players that are capable of playing that switch to the far side. We also know with Mbeumo on the right, he can do it going the other way. So he can come inside onto his left, and he can find that pass to the far side. And once again, United can get into the wide zones. So I guess the real question now is, why are United so threatening when we get into those positions? A lot of teams in the Premier League will utilise a long switch, but Manchester United don't only use it as ball progression, but actually a real creative threat for United. The question is, how? Well, it's because of the system, and this is something that we've spoken about recently. The fact that the wing-backs provide us with that extra man on the far side, and not often we can go 2 versus 1 against a fullback. And what United are trying to do is manipulate this player here to drag him out of position and draw him away from the rest of his defence. So we know that typically teams want to be connected. Whether you're playing a back 4, a back 3, a back 5 or a back 20, you want your defenders connected with each other, you want them close to each other. What United are trying to do is to separate one of them out of the way. We're trying to isolate one of these defenders to create this bigger space, these bigger gaps for us to exploit. And the wing-backs and the inside forwards and also the long switches allow us to do this. So let's just go back a few steps. United are overloading the left-hand side. The opposition, therefore, get over to this side of the pitch. United have got lots of players. We're trying to be technically secure in this moment. Then we're going to drop it off to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is going to switch the ball out to the far side. Now, initially, the opposition fullback will be narrow, but eventually they have to get out towards the wing-back. This is where we now create our 2 versus 1, though, because if we mark Ahmad and Mbeumo here, they are 2 players playing against just 1 opposition fullback. And this is where United are effective. We cause this fullback to be disconnected from the rest of his defensive line, and that's when someone like Mbeumo can now race in behind. We can also do it on the other side as well. Let's just select this player over here real quick. So let's say it's done the other way around. We are drawing the opposition to the left-hand side. We then switch it to the right. They go out to engage Dorgu in this position here. Then we have this space that we can attack. So what United are really trying to do is make sure the fullback is disconnected from the rest of the defence. And we're actually doing this really effectively, even in matches where we don't play particularly well. And the reason why it can be so dangerous is because now we are in this channel of space here with the ball unchallenged, and then we can deliver. Typically what we are seeing still, a bit like last season, is cutbacks. So once Cunha is in this position, we'll see Šeško attacking the goal, and then someone else arriving into this position here to eventually get the shot off. That is why our inside forwards have had more shots than our striker so far this season. Now, the next reason why United are so dangerous in these wide positions is a bit more of a complicated one. It's because we've got good players. You know, football's a simple game, right? If we've got good players in wide zones and we get the ball wide a lot, you would expect United to do something fairly promising, right? This season, we've got the likes of Mbeumo and Cunha compared to, let's say, last season, Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes, perhaps in the 2-10 positions. In terms of players that want to drift wide, Mbeumo and Cunha are just much more effective. They are 2 excellent ball carriers, but also our wing-backs as well. Ahmad on the right-hand side, Dalot, Dorgu, Mazraoui. If we look at the successful take-ons for United this season, a lot of the time it is coming from these players that are allowed to drift into wide zones. Quite simply, United have a lot of quality in these areas. You know, we don't necessarily always have the quality to play through the middle of the pitch, so why not occasionally play to your strengths, move the ball a little bit wider, and let your big summer signings, Cunha and Mbeumo, just make things happen. Let them sort of express themselves on the ball, let them attack the opposition, and so far, it's been quite effective. The only problem that United have is once we actually get ourselves into the final third, we're sometimes a little bit too quick. Of course, not always. We've created a lot of chances this season. But what we do see sometimes is that the attack moves so fast, so direct, that we don't always actually have the numbers in the box that we can play to. So, for example, Casemiro might switch it out to Dorgu. Dorgu races in behind and crosses first time, but he's done it all so quick that the likes of Šeško, Cunha and Mbeumo can't actually get into the box in time. And this is a bit of a problem. It's a strength for United that we attack so quick because the opposition can't keep up, but it's also a weakness because we lack numbers in the box. We're crossing so early and our forwards aren't actually really getting the opportunity to set themselves and be ready to score. Now, overall, I think it's pretty clear to see why United have been so dangerous in wide positions so far this season. First of all, the system really allows us to access those zones on a regular basis. And then secondly, we've got some seriously gifted footballers in those positions, particularly when the 2-10s drift into those wider zones. The problem for United still is a lack of quality on the final ball. I think we can get even better there, and that will see the numbers like the XG boosted further. I think something else we need to see is a bit more variety. It's great that we are a wide attacking threat. We want that at Old Trafford, but we also need to offer something through the middle a little bit more. Currently, we don't. The other thing we need to do is make sure that we are doing it consistently in games. We seem to sort of have a bright first 15 minutes where we create opportunities, and then the last 15 minutes, we need to even that out. We need to be dominant across a 90-minute match, create expected goals and high volume of chances throughout a match rather than just in spurts. That's the next step for United. But in terms of talking about a team that's trying to evolve, one thing we have improved that is attacking the wide zones. We look very dangerous in those areas, and I don't think it would take too much to make us actually really dangerous in those zones. So we've got a lot of potential right now. Now we need to turn that potential into threat and into chances created and also into goals. If United do that, I would expect our goal tally to sort of rocket up and jump up actually quite quickly, to be honest, because I don't think teams will be able to deal with it. So I'm optimistic, but right now there is still a lot of work to do, but that work has to be done another day. Right now the wide zones are promising, but we need just a little bit more. But in terms of today's video, that's pretty much that. So thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please leave a like, subscribe, and get your notifications on. And as always, I will see you all in the next one.